It's almost that time again where kids are starting to go back to school. So I figured why not revisit something that was incredibly popular 20 years ago when I was in elementary school, and I still see them on grocery store shelves today. If it's your first time, thank you for joining me. I'm Jim with Doesn't Pay Full Price, a channel where I break down how much it costs to make amazing food at home. Today we are focusing on a highly processed, very popular kids lunch product. We're gonna try it now as an adult and see how it holds up, and then see if we can make it at home any better and how much it would cost. If you haven't figured it out, we're talking about Lunchables. So let's get to it. I think we can all pretty much agree that there's only one Lunchable that is like the king of all Lunchables, and that's what we're tackling today, and that's pizza. So let's crack this thing open and let's see what we're dealing with. I can vividly remember what these used to taste like as a kid. There was definitely a good year or two span where I had these probably once a week, and part of me hopes they taste exactly the same. All right, so we've got like floppy, soggy pepperoni. Nope, okay. Not bad, but not good. We've got just basic processed mozzarella cheese. And obviously the biggest challenge of this is gonna be the pizza crust. It's got a weird, like almost pita dough texture. You can see there's no color at all on the front, but then there is some browning on the back. So we'll have to come up with a good dough. And just looking at the ingredients, I know it's a yeast dough, so we're gonna do a yeast dough. Then our sauce just looks like thin ketchup with some oregano in it. So this is easy. This might take some time, but I got an idea. All right, so let's start by making one of these things and seeing how it tastes nowadays. So start with our crust, and we're gonna add a good amount of our sauce. Spread it around with your finger. Some people spread it around with the lid of the sauce packet, but I'm more of a spread it around with your finger kind of guy. Then we're gonna have to go cheese first, plenty of cheese. And then for the pepperonis, do you just do one big one in the middle? Or no, you kind of overlap them, right? So at least 2 pepperonis. Let's see how this tastes. It has been, realistically, probably 20 years since I've had any kind of Lunchable. The pizza one was always the best, because honestly, it's kind of hard to screw up pizza. Let's see what we're at least working with. Oh God. Oh, it's got an aftertaste. It's what I remember. It's that cheap sauce. It's just all mush. Oh, there's such an artificial aftertaste. The crust is awful. That's just all you can taste. I can't even taste the pepperoni, which somehow the pepperonis are as big as the thing. The sauce is the only other thing that I can taste, and it's just tomato paste that's watered down with oregano. I'm not even gonna finish it. If I can't make a better version of this, I will quit YouTube tomorrow and go work for Kraft. Ugh. Like, it's really bad. If you're a kid and you know what pizza tastes like, you would not like this. It's just one mushy pile of artificially flavored ingredients. For the crust, I think I'm gonna go with a basic master pizza dough. This is what I use for Detroit style pizza and New York style pizza. It's really easy to make. I think it's gonna make a good, solid, neutral base for our Lunchable. So let's start mixing this together. We're gonna start with a 1/4 cup of warm water and then add 1½ teaspoons of active dry yeast and make sure that's stirred in really well. To the bowl of your stand mixer, we're gonna add 453 grams of bread flour, which is about 3½ cups. Then we're gonna add 9 grams of diastic malt powder. I hope that's what this is. Mix up that flour and malt for just a second, just to get it all incorporated. While your mixer's on low, you're gonna add 225 grams of ice water, along with your frothy yeast and water mixture. Let that mix for 2 minutes until it all comes together. Once your dough comes together into a nice ball, we're gonna add in 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, along with 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. Take it off the hook, and then form it into an even tighter taut ball. Make sure the whole thing is covered in olive oil and let it rest covered for 1 hour. To get an idea of what size we should make our dough balls, I'm gonna weigh one of these terrible flavorless discs that came in the package, and they are 0.53 ounces. So now we at least have some kind of general idea as to how big we should make our crusts. The only other thing we really have to prepare is our sauce, and this is gonna be a pretty easy 3-to-1 ratio of diced or crushed tomatoes to tomato paste. So this is a 14½ ounce can of diced tomatoes going into a pot. So to that, we're only gonna use about 5 ounces of tomato paste. To that, I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of oregano, maybe 2 teaspoons. I like oregano. Good healthy 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and a 1.5 teaspoons of good extra virgin olive oil. This isn't gonna cook on the pizza in the oven like it normally would, so let's get this on low heat for about 15 to 20 minutes just so all the flavors can come together. If you like that rustic consistency, you can leave it as is, but if you want it nice and smooth like the real Lunchable, go ahead and just hit it with a stick blender, pulse it up in your regular blender for just a couple minutes until it's silky smooth. After your dough is risen for about an hour and it's doubled in size, go ahead and beat it down and then turn it out onto a floured work surface. We're going to start portioning these out. So don't forget half-ounce balls. I only made about 9 or 10 of these, and then I saved the rest, and it was still enough dough to make 2 full pizzas. Once you get your 5-ounce ball, roll it in using your index and forefinger till it's nice and taut, and then we're going to place them on a floured sheet pan, and we're going to work on rolling these out. So I've got a plan for these. I'm going to roll these out into the regular Lunchables, but I figured I might as well try something a little different. So I'm going to do Detroit style. While my oven is preheating to 450 degrees, I'm going to try to roll these little dough balls out and try to get as close to a good circle as possible. Now I tried a few different ways of rolling these out. The first one being just a traditional rolling pin, taking my time, and then eventually just throwing it around in the air like I work in a pizza parlor. That worked out pretty well, but it took a little bit too much time. So next, I tried to take the tortilla method where I floured the bottom of a pan and then just pressed it down really hard. And that did not work out so great. What I found worked the best was just gently pressing out the dough and then just gently stretching. It gave the most consistent shape and took the least amount of time and effort. Don't forget to make little holes or dock all of your dough balls with a fork. That way they don't puff up into a big round ball when you bake them, and they stay nice and flat and consistently shaped. Don't worry about going as fast as me. Don't forget, I'm a professional. Put these in a 450-degree oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. At this point, all the hard work is done. I gotta see how this came out. So these smell phenomenal. I don't know if you can see, they're not as brown as the other ones, but they smell absolutely amazing. So we're gonna layer on a little bit of our sauce. And I'm using a mixture of fontina, mozzarella, asiago, and parmesan cheese. Some cheese with some flavor, put that on there. And then if you wanna go classic, I've got natural casing, pepperoni. Put a couple of those on there. Let's see how we did. It's so much better. The crust is exactly what you would expect from a pizza crust. You actually have some flavor from the cheese. The sauce is amazing. And you actually get a little bit of a crunch, so there's a difference in texture. But I'm not the biggest pepperoni fan. What if I want something better? What if I want something vegetarian? We're gonna lay down a little bit of our sauce and then the same cheese mixture, good quality green Castelvetrano olives, and then finish it off with just a couple pieces of artichoke heart, and you have the perfect vegetarian Lunchable. So because I might be a little biased, I want a second opinion. So I'm gonna bring in my special guest. Can you see anything at all?
No. This feels really weird.
Alright, so first, do you have any idea what video I was making today?
No, I basically was kidnapped when I got home.
No clue, and you can't see anything?
No,
okay.
freaking me out.
Alright, I've got a couple things for you to try, and I want you to let me know what you think of it and which one you like better.
I'm terrified.
You ready?
Now.
So we're gonna start with the first one.
Now I'm scared. Okay.
And number 2. Do you have any idea what you ate?
No.
Which one do you like better?
2.
2? Why?
Had way more flavor.
I made number 1.
Are you serious?
No. I made number 2. Wait, before you take your blindfold off, I have a third one that I want you to try. Ready? Mm-hmm. This is a bonus. You can take your blindfolds off.
Yeah!
It's Lunchables.
Yes!
Number 1 was a regular Lunchable. Number 2 was Lunchables that I made from scratch. And then number 3 was Detroit style Lunchable.
It was a cheesy crust I like.
If you want the recipe for the Detroit style pizza Lunchable, don't forget to hit the subscribe button because I'll have that video coming out soon. And if you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button. I'm Jim with Doesn't Pay Full Price, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.